Okay, this is a quick demonstration video of some of the evidence that students will need to gather for their IT qualifications this year. Okay, so let's get underway straight away. First thing that students will need to do is create a folder. Okay, so let's start with that. Right click, new folder. Normally the students will put a date, such as this. Okay, and that's actually a really good place to start our first print screen. Okay, it's kind of while it's being done, we can see it's 8:46. Okay, and everything's kind of being done in real time. Let's open Word. A couple of things about Word. Probably best you can leave it the orientation as portrait. That's not a problem. But if we make the margins into narrow, it gives us a bit more space to put our print screens on. We can make them a bit bigger like this. When I say this, you can leave it in portrait as long as you've got a good printer. Okay, you can see here, I think this is 100% view. That's 100% view. It doesn't look like it, but that will actually print out fairly well on a good printer. You'll get all the information you need. Time especially important, and obviously everything else there. Okay, so we'll go in there. What we can also do, obviously, is add a name in the header. And we'll keep all the evidence on one document. So we'll save this once the file is properly created, the folder. Yes, there it is. So we'll now file, save as. Where are we going to save it? On the desktop and in the file that we've just created, and we can call this whatever we want. Evidence is good enough. Okay, so we've got a name, evidence, and that's what the students will need to do. Paste and then enter down onto the next line. About 2 per page should do it. Very important that the students do not put page numbers on here, because that will just confuse us later on, I think. We will want to paginate ourselves, so we should tell the students not to put page numbers on, and we'll end up putting them on ourselves later on. Okay, so that's the first piece of evidence, which is a folder. We've also, I believe, saved this into the folder for today's work, so that's great. Second thing we probably need to do is, obviously I'm working on my home computer today, but the next thing that students will need to do normally, maybe to cover something like E3.3.1, which is use and change passwords. Normally if we tell the students to click on the start button, it will come up with the username, EBS number, and that just shows that they're on their own computer. So we'll do that one straight away. Print screen, and put that straight in there, make it as big as we can. Okay, and we can see how the evidence is starting to build up here. We've got, that was 8:46, now we've got 8:49 here on this one, and we'll just start going through these. So as I said, portrait orientation and 2 per page, and students can then toggle down to the next page. Do a quick save would be a good idea as well. Okay, so they've made a folder, they've done their start, they've done the start button which shows their username, so that's all good. Okay, let's say the task is something along the lines of students will need to create an information sheet about Wembley Stadium. Okay, so that normally implies a few things. Normally the context is quite small, it's only 1 or 2 sentences in the sort of, right from entry 1 to entry 3. Fairly basic, something like that. Students will need to create an information sheet about Wembley Stadium. That implies a lot. That implies Google image searches, Google information searches, print screening, all of that, receiving emails and sending emails, print screening all of those. What else? Going onto a website, print screening where they've got information. Loads of stuff like that. So I'll just do a quick demonstration of what I think that means. I mean, straight away, if we look at our evidence, what we've got here is actually really useful. We've got the folder that the work's being saved in. We've got evidence of 2 potential web browsers, so that's really cool. Got a Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox. So that's good. So let's say the student wants to use Google Chrome, so he clicks on Google Chrome. Okay, and what we could do is we could print screen this. That's a step. We're print screen basically every step. So he goes on to Google Chrome. He's going to be doing a search for Wembley Stadium. Okay, so we go back to Google Chrome. Let's say he wants to do the search on Google as opposed to Yahoo. So he goes to his bookmarks, and he's going to be using Google. We print screen this. Every step is being accounted for. So we're actually showing. It's like a story, basically. Every picture adds to the story. It's like a storyboard in effect, really. So that's really good. And hopefully what we'll end up with is at the end you see these times: 8:45, 8:49, 8:51, 8:51. That's 8:51. If we go back here, okay, go back to our bookmarks. He goes to, let's say the student goes to then Google. Print screen this. Have we got 2 on 1 page there? Yep. So 2 on 1 page is the maximum. So we toggle down. And we have the Google. We go back to Google. A lot of toggling here. The students will have to get used to that. I've worked out that students should be able to do, print screen a minute. As long as they know roughly what they're looking for. They don't have to get every single one in the exact order, but as long as they can get most of them, obviously, that would be good, and it's the more the better. So, have we actually print screen the Google? Yep. So that's the one without the search term in it. Now we'll type in the search term. Wembley Stadium. Okay, so print screen, and that's 2 on 1 page. So we toggle down. Okay, that's Wembley Stadium searched for, and here we have Wembley Stadium website. Okay, so can we actually see that website, because that's the one we're going to be using? Have we demonstrated that in evidence? Yes, we have. We can actually see it there. So if we click on here and print screen, obviously it's 2 on 1 page, so we need to go down again, getting through quite a lot here. So we can see that at 8:52 the student found this website, Wembley Stadium. They did a search, they found a site here, and onto the next page, 8:53, we can see the website that was found. So we're getting the idea of the story here. When things happened and what happened. Students demonstrating every step of the way. Okay, so let's say the student needed to find information on the Champions League final, say, which is coming up, and the address of Wembley Stadium. Okay, so what we can probably do here is highlight that straight away. We've got our mouse over that, so we print screen that, and that shows where we're going on the website. It's actually highlighted there, and we can obviously refer to that later on when we do the marking. So that actually makes the marking a lot easier, makes it easier for the EV to see what the student has actually done and when they've done it. Okay, so we're going on to the Champions League final. We click on that tab, and let's, straight away, let's say we're going to pick a paragraph for our information sheet. We can actually highlight it, print screen that, and then stick that in there. Okay, so a minute per print screen, shouldn't need any more than that, and really that's why probably it's better now to actually do it all on one document. If you had to save a different folder, a different file every single time, a different document, there's lots of file names, that would be complicated, that would take more time, and things would probably get missed a lot easier then, so better to do it this way. So for evidence, keep quick saving as we do. We've got our paragraph here. Let's say we're going to copy our paragraph over then into Word. We'll need this for later on. Oops. So we've got our paragraph about the Champions League final at Wembley Stadium. That's fine. Go back here. We needed to find an address. Where's the best place to find an address? Normally there's a contact tab somewhere. We can actually click on. We can sort of hover. Hover is a really good thing for the students to know how to do, because especially when we're trying to demonstrate evidence of things. So if we hover, print screen, it should again it will show. That's contact us. That shows where we've hovered, and it gives the time again. You see the time developing there, 8:54, 8:55, bottom right hand corner. All looks authentic. So we click on Contact Us then, and we go down to the website. We can actually we go down to the address. That address would be fine. Obviously, highlighting it just makes it easier to later on when we print screen. Just kind of drives home what the student has found and where they found it and what time they found it. Okay, so we've got the information, we've got the address. Let's just make sure that's copied into Word. We will need that later on. We can obviously save this as Wembley Stadium information or something. In fact, that'll do, that's fine. Okay, so we're getting our information ready for the information sheet about Wembley Stadium, so that's all good. The last thing we probably need is an image. So, how do we get an image? Let's go to our bookmarks. Bookmarks. Google Images. Okay, again, print screen. Okay, we need to go to our evidence file. Again, so every step of the way. Oops. Oh yeah, that's it. It actually shows Google Images. So after we've found all the information, 856, 857, we're going to Google Images. Let's do that. Google Images, and again, we're looking for Wembley Stadium. Okay, clearly. So actually, what we could do before we do that, again, obviously Google Images, print screen. If we haven't already done that, just check. Easy to get confused. So that's the story is being told. We're on to Google Images, and then we go to the Wembley Stadium search. We print screen, remembering to pick again whatever picture the student wants to use. From here would be best, from the top 3 rows here, so we can see the search term that was used. It was spelled correctly. It was Google. It was Images, and which picture. Okay, because when we come later on to actually marking this, we can actually say yes, the student went from here at 8:57 to here at 8:58, and this is the picture they used in their information sheet, or this picture. Okay, so that's how it works. It's got to tell a story. Okay, I think so that's it, and we go back. We can select a picture. Look at which one would be best for an information sheet. Probably that one looks pretty cool. We'll choose this one. Okay, so we've selected this picture again. It's even more explicit. Print screen. Back to our evidence file. Page down. Paste. Quick save. Okay. So we go back. Obviously, we copy our image. Now we go to our what's going to be a kind of a rough draft. Really, this is going to be our rough draft of our information sheet. The 2 things that were requested: some sort of paragraph information about the Champions League final, an address, Wembley Stadium, a picture of Wembley Stadium. What else is missing? A heading. Probably they'll need to head in at some point. Probably that'll be from an email that was sent. So the teacher sends the student an email. The student print screens that email, puts it into their evidence file. They put in a heading. The heading is likely to be something like Wembley Stadium or Champions League final 2013, something like that. And this is the kind of rough draft. This is a rough draft, more or less. I think obviously the students will have to remember to put their name on the bottom. That's probably it in terms of information. I can't think of anything else really that would need to go in there. The next step would then be a spell check. Okay, and this is quite an interesting one. I'll show you fairly quickly. We can obviously demonstrate the steps to doing the spell check as well. We click on Review. We can leave it hover on Review, and we can do a print screen. Click on Evidence. We go here. So we've gone to 8, whatever time that is, 8. No, it's actually 9 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, the student went to the Review tab. At 1 minute past 9, they clicked on Spelling and Grammar. Hover, okay, that's fine. That would probably suffice, I would think. Print screen. Back to our evidence folder. Click No, and that will enable us to go to our evidence. Click down the page, create a new page, paste, and so on and so forth. Okay, so I'm going to leave it there, but that's just an indicator of how much evidence, you know, it would be useful for the students to have. Anything other than this would potentially be quite thin on the ground, I think. Just remember to quick save this. Okay, so that takes us up to the print screen, and what happens after that is the students need to resave. This is obviously their rough draft. They've done the spell checks, that's great, so they would obviously need to, if they do a quick save here, say, then file, save as, and then they'll do a final draft. If we put this final, that would be fine, and then they can start their final copy. So having done the spell check, they're in a good position. When they start their final copy, they'll obviously start centering text and making text bigger and so on and so forth, adding in a border potentially, that kind of thing. Before they finish, before they decide that yes, this is my final copy, print this out, they will need to print this out and proofread, make sure there are no spelling corrections. If there is a spelling issue on here, they will lose 3 marks because it won't have been properly checked. Okay, so that needs to be negotiated word by word. They need to look at this and check, are the spellings correct? Unfortunately, they would lose 3 points. You know, if it came to that, that would be just the you know, that would be the issue with English not being the first language. It just makes it that more difficult. But if they do everything else, they should be fine. They should gather enough points for it actually to be you know, a piece of work which is actually a pass. Okay, I'm going to leave it there for the time being, and maybe pick this up again later on in another video.